Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Gene, and it's Gene's signature. So today I'll be making this beautiful tutorial on a shoulder dart bustier. So if this is what you're interested in, please kind of watch till the end. And for this tutorial, I'll just be making a pattern drafting for this tutorial. So subsequently, I'll be making a design out of it, so I will show you the tutorial so that it will not be too lengthy. That's why I'm like doing this first, the pattern drafting first, and then later I'll be doing the other one. So I've already gone ahead to mark my shoulder to my bust point, my chest line, my waistline, and then the length of the gown, because the length of this gown is going to be long. It's not going to be like an half length, no, it's going to be long, like as if you're making a blouse. I believe you understand me. So I've gone ahead to get my nipple to nipple measurement. That is what I'm connecting like so. So on my bust point, I measured, like now, for example, the nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches. I divided into 2 and I got 4 inches. So on the bust point, I marked 4.5. And then on the bust and the waistline, I measured for 4 inches respectively. So now I'll be taking my darts for the sides. So I'll be taking my under bust darts, which I'll be going in by 2 inches because my client is on the busty side. So I'll take 2 inches on the under bust, and then I'll take 2 inches at the hem of the top. So that is what you see me connecting like so. And then in order for me to cover my cup, I'll be coming down by half an inch from my bust point, and then I'll be using my curve ruler to curve out my bust curve, as you see me do like that. So this is what we have. Let me just carve it out very well so that you would see it. And so this is what I have. And so the next thing we're going to be doing is just to get my shoulder, my neck width. I made use of 3.5 inches, and then I was sloping down my shoulder like so. So basically just go ahead and draft out like your basic bodies first before imputing all these things. Yeah, I've done this severally, that's why I didn't want to repeat it. So for the shoulder there, I'll be getting the difference or the midpoint of my shoulder after taking my neck width. So the midpoint is 3 inches, because as at the time I checked from my shoulder, because my client's shoulder is 18 inches, so she has a wide chest, and so I got 6 inches, and that is what I'll be coming down with like so. And so I'll be connecting that to the bust point. If you don't want this to be too pointy or whatever, you can just go up by half an inch and then curve it out like so. But I'll be doing it like this, and it's still okay. If you know it, just blend it in a little and you're good to go. And so I'll be taking my shoulder dart. So this is where the name shoulder dart bustier came from. So on the shoulders, I'll be taking 1 inch on both sides respectively. So for some, you can say you take half an inch on one side and then take 1 inch, or you can take 1.5 on one and then half on one. So it depends on how you want to distribute it, but I prefer distributing this equally. And so right there on the bust point, I went up by half an inch, and then I'll be connecting that like so. So I'll be showing you something a little bit tricky, like instead of connecting straight like this, I'll be coming back to that later on. So just connect this first, and then we'll go over to the next thing. So connect that half an inch that you came off with from your bust point on both sides like so. So this is what we have. So you can see that our bustier is already showing. Yeah, it's already showing us that look of a bustier. So I'm just trying to blend it in like so. And so this is what we have. So for the neck depth, I'll be making use of 4 inches. And then I'll be using my curve ruler to cover the neckline, because it's going to be a round neckline. And so yes, so all these places will be cut out. That is what I was just trying to explain. All these places will be cut out. All those places that I'm shading will be cut out, because those places are our dart points. They will be cut off. And so right there on the shoulder area, in order for us to extend our armhole, because of course you know that we're cutting off that 2 inches for the dart, so you need to replace it so that your shoulder will not be short. So just extend your shoulders by 2 inches from there. But if you connect like this, you'll be running into problem. I just want to draw out the initial curve that was supposed to be there so that you would understand what I'm doing very well. So whatever you have right here, after marking that 2 inches, you come here, and then from that line, you replace whatever you used as your dart from there, so that when you are carving out your new armhole, everything is going to be balanced. Because if you just go and then you just carve it out like that, you find out that the armhole area is going to be a little bit bigger than what you are supposed to have there. So you just like replace exactly what you have here from there, and then you do the needful. So for this slant, I intentionally slanted it like this. So this is not what you should do, because by the time you check from the neck, from that starting line, you see that you are going to be having more than 1 inch for your shoulder slant. I'll be doing that later to correct that. So for now, I'm just dividing my bust measurement by 4, and then I'll be marking what is needed right there, and then whatever that is there, I'll take it back half an inch, and then I'll add 2 inches for my sewing allowance. So whatever is on the chest point will definitely be on the bust point. So let me just cover the new armhole. And this is what we have. So by the time you look at it very well, you'd see that it gave that same look that was there. So that's the bust point. So the next thing is to go for the under bust measurement. So if you didn't get the under bust measurement of your client, you can just ignore that and then go to the length of the top. So now for the under bust measurement, my client's under bust measurement is 40. I'll be dividing that into 4, and that gave me 10. And then I'll be adding 2 inches back that I used for my dart, and then 2 inches sewing allowance. And then for the length of the top, because this top is going to be going way down up to the hip line, so for that I'll be making use of my hip measurement. So my hip measurement divided by 4, that should give me my client's hip is 50, so divided by 4, that should give me 12.5. And so I'll be marking 12.5, and then I'll replace the 2 inches dart, and then I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance. So if you've watched up to this level, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, kindly like, kindly share, and kindly give this video a thumbs up. So I'll be connecting from the bust to the waist, and then from the waist to the hip line or the hem of the top, like so. And so this is what we have. So I'll be coming back to this upper part so that I would explain some things there. So now this is what I was trying to say. By the time you check it, I just looked and I saw that that place was a little bit longer than the 1 inch that I used for my shoulder slope. So I'm just going to be adjusting that right like now. So I just marked where 1 inch was supposed to be, and then you adjust it like so, because you don't want to run into any problem, because by the time you check it, you see that you are having 1.5 inches instead of 1 inch. So now I'll be adding half an inch for my shoulder joining like so. So you can see what I said. You understand what I did? Yeah, thank you. And so for the chest tightening, this is really not really important or necessary. But if you feel like you want to do it, I'll just try to explain how it's done. So for the chest tightening, if you want to tighten the chest area, like you want the bust area really tight at the upper part, just from your under bust, place your tape like so, and then come up by 4 inches. Just come up by 4 inches from your chest point, and right there on the line that you used as your dart, come in by half inch, so that you tighten that place so that it won't gape or it won't gap. So just connect like so. Just connect it like so, and then connect to the line like so, and that is what you are going to be having. So by the time you finish sewing, that place is going to be sitting perfectly well and well tightened. So we are through with the front parts, and we're just going to be cutting this out so that we'll go over to the back piece. And so yes, this is the back piece. I've gone ahead to add my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. I've gotten my neck width of 3.5 inches. I've slanted my shoulder, and I've come down from my armhole. So the necessary things is just to input the usuals, and then we're good to go. All this was in a bit to make it not to make the tutorial too lengthy. So now I'll just be dividing the bust measurement by 4, and then you add 2 inches sewing allowance. And then you go to the hip, because I'll be coming back to the half length where the waist is supposed to be, yeah. But for now, let me just do the hip. Divided by 4, that should give 12.5, and then you add 2 inches sewing allowance. And so now we're getting the half length. The half length of my client is 19, but I ended up marking 19.5. So by the time we start finish joining everything, by the time I want to close up, I would use the appropriate figure, yeah. So I'm just rolling that out. That should serve as my half length. That is the waist area. So for the waist area, I'm getting that divided by 4, and then I'll be marking that, and then I'll add 1 inch for that, and then 2 inches sewing allowance. So this is what we have. So now the next thing to do is to just get the midpoint of my armhole and then cover the armhole curve. So that is the armhole. And then on the waist area, I'll be inputting my dart. So we know that this is going to be like a long top because it will be sitting on the hip. So I'm just going to be taking that place as my chest line. So that's why I rolled it out so that it will be very obvious. And so the next thing I'm doing now is to just get the bust band measurement or nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, which was 4 inches, and that is what I'm marking all the way from the chest line to the waistline and then the hip line. So I'll be connecting that in a straight line down. And so right there on the waist area, I'll be taking half inch, because of course this dart is supposed to be on the waist area, not on the hip area. So I'll be marking half inch on both sides, and then from the chest line, I'll just be coming down by 1 inch, and then I'll be connecting this respectively, like so. And then on the hip line, because we don't want this dart going all the way to the hip line, I'll be going up from my hip line by 3 inches, and then I'll connect that too. The way I connected it from the chest line, just slant it in like so, because you need the dart at this back to give it that fitting and for it to sit very well. So this is our dart. And so for some that don't want this kind of darts, you can just come up to your shoulder area, just exactly what we did in the front. I'll be doing that to the back as well. I just felt like it's going to be giving it a very good look, having the same thing that like you have in the front at the back. So I'll come to this shoulder, get the midpoint from the shoulder, exactly what we did in the front, but just that we're not taking any darts, and then mark the midpoint and then connect it to meet the darts that I put in at the waist area, like so. I'm going to be telling you how to go about it so that you won't have shortage when you're sewing. So just connect it like so. We don't have any bust in the front, so it's just going to be laying flat like that. You don't need to take any darts on the shoulder. So this is how it's going to be looking, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. And then I'll be telling you what to do if you don't want to run short when you're sewing it. And then you cut out the sides. And then you cut out the armhole. And then you cut out the darts. If you don't want to cut out the darts, you can leave it like that so that when you are sewing, you just sew the dart like that. But I just want to cut it out so that some people would explain that we still have other methods that we can go ahead and then we can achieve our darts perfectly well. So by the time you cut it out like this, it will be in pieces. You can see the gap there. So when you want to cut on your fabric, just ensure that you add half an inch at that place that you cut it out, so that when you want to join it, that will be your joining or sewing allowance. I believe you understand me, yeah. So just make sure you have half an inch right there. So in order to avoid bulginess of zip at the back area, this is just like a usual. Just go in by half an inch from your waist area and then slant it down inwards, and then you're good to go. There'll be no bulginess of this at the zipper area. It's quite easy. So this is how far I'm going to be going on this tutorial for today. Like I told you, this is just a pattern drafting, so just watch out for the tutorial that I'll be making on this beautiful style. It's going to be So I just want to drop this so that you have an idea of how to cut a shoulder dart bustier before the next tutorial that I'll be making on the style that was on the thumbnail. So that picture on the thumbnail, I'm going to be making the styles very soon. So this was just the pattern drafting for that. So please kind of watch out. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thank you all, and God bless you. So we have our back pieces, and then of course I'll be bringing the front pieces as well. And so these are the front pieces as well. So whatever I have here is what I'll be cutting out on my subsequent tutorials. So this is Genius Signatures, and of course I'll be signing out for now. See you all on my next tutorial. Ciao, bye. And if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section and I'll be right there to answer you. Thank you all, and kisses. God bless you. Ciao.